news with Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
So Jan Martinborough, British, so she beat whoever in the simulator.
He.
Oh,
Jan.
Jan. Oh, Jan. Sorry. Oh,
Yeah,
there he is.
there you go.
That's
Yeah.
a young guy. Yeah, it's going to work.
Sweet picture.
It's going to happen. Mm-hmm.
That's great.
All right.
Well, Louis C.K. back in the news. He received a standing ovation for a surprise appearance at a comedy festival in New York on Sunday. But his disgraced reputation is still powerful enough that criticism of his set led the venue to issue an apology. And this is real quick.
We're keeping the money, P.S. Sorry.
Yeah, here is his...
Where was he at?
This was, I think, a Skank Fest. Is that it? It's a New York festival, New York City festival, bands, comedy, stuff like that. And this is him walking onto the stage and the surprise of the audience.
Skank Fest is a cool event, right? You never know what can happen. Crazy things happen. Here's one of those crazy things. Ladies and gentlemen, Louis C.K.
Crowd goes wild, up on their feet, jumping up and down. Here he takes the stage.
And then who had to issue the apology?
The club.
Oh.
So the promoter, this was at Skankfest, they defended his decision to book Louis C.K., but the management of Brooklyn Bazaar, where the festival was staged, they made the apology. This is the statement, quote, "The venue had no prior knowledge that his performance..."
Hold on, club owner. Does he own the comedians?
That's a very good question.
Oh, he's governing them.
It's
but there is a
offensive.
comedy club called Governors.
He's the commissioner.
We'll change it to owner.
I find owners problematic because
toxic.
What if a comedian of color goes on stage?
Does he
Then
own
he's
that
gonna
comedian?
Own that comedian?
No, that's what we all have to ask ourselves. Look
But
in the
go
mirror.
ahead.
Okay. So this is the statement. The venue had no prior knowledge that his performance would occur. By the time he was brought through the side entrance by promoters and put on the stage, it was too late for our staff to stop it. Management felt stopping it may put the staff in
how's it
danger.
work? Like, a guy beat off into a potted plant, stick the microphone, no! Like someone shooting the president, diving in front of his cock.
Yeah.
No! Pushing a ficus out of the way and diving. Like, one person blocks, just drapes themselves over the ficus like the guy did on Reagan when he was shot on the sidewalk. The other guy dives for Louis' cock trying to block it in slow motion. The other one grabs a female comedian and starts ushering her out.
Steering her away.
Well, first off, we got to either charge him with something or fine him or do something. He can't just live in Scarlet Letter world his entire life. Either fucking send him to prison or shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Because this is a jury of his peers of society. They said, we would first like to apologize to our community and staff.
Did anyone walk out? Is there any because it sounds like it's very universal.
From that video.
Universally positive reaction.
We'd like to apologize to our community and staff for what occurred. We would also like to apologize to the music department because they have put a lot of effort into making Brooklyn Bazaar a safe space with diverse programming.
Oh, well, look,
not too diverse, though.
First off, I have a daughter. I don't wish that a guy asks if he can beat off in front of her, but in a spectrum of bad things that can happen to her sexually, that doesn't crack my top 10. Fat comedian goes, "May I beat off in front of you, Natalia?" And she goes, "Maybe later. I'm going to finish my grilled cheese." And he goes, "I hear you."
Doesn't hurt to ask. It's the squeaky wheel.
I'm watching Sonny play League of Legends.
I mean, all right, he's a weird dude. But I don't know, dude. Is he never allowed to talk into a microphone again? Or can we charge him with something? Or can he pay a fine? Or
the audience will decide.
Yes, let him do community service or something, and then he can come off of Pariah Island and work again.
That's the thing. It looks like this is the kind of stuff he's been sort of dipping his toe into and seeing how he's received. The crowds love him, and the promoters apologize.
Well, yes, because I don't...
Wait, maybe that works. Maybe he can go and do these performances, and then right after, the venue apologizes.
Right.
And everyone wins.
Yeah.
Or maybe
part of a ruse.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe a bunch of people have to go in the room and masturbate with him standing next to a locked door. And then we can all move on with our lives.
So it's a radical idea.
Yeah.
Can we stream that?
He'll see how it feels. And then we can all move on.
Yes. All right. He's a weird guy. He did some weird things. they weren't right. At a certain point, he has to make restitution to whoever he did it in front of, or his God, or the state, or whatever that is, and then we need to get the fuck on with our lives so he can start paying taxes again.
Yeah, and you know who it makes me think of is Dan Harmon, because he did that, and we talked, Teresa and I talked about it recently. He did that epic 9-minute apology for harassing one of his staff members. I believe it was on Community, because at first he was like, sorry, and she's like, yeah, I don't accept that.
Wait, which one is Dan Harmon?
From Community, the showrunner.
Oh, the showrunner. Yeah.
And then he did a podcast, and he's for 9-10 minutes was like, this is what I did. This is why it was wrong. I took my power and I bullied this chick that didn't want to date me, and I made her feel, like shit, and I made her second guess herself. And it was because I decided that she was my muse, and I was so, hurt and offended that she didn't want anything to do with me, that I wanted her to see how it felt. He really dug down, really reflected and said, it was wrong. This is what was going on in my head, and this is what I've learned. And it was kind of an epic example of an apology, I think, for a lot of people. So if Louis is interested in doing something like that, I think, like you said, once people kind of get on board and understand that the person understands, you move on.
Didn't Sarah Silverman say he beat off in front of her?
He said sometimes, she said sometimes it was cool and sometimes she wasn't interested.
That's Sarah.
I run into her a lot. She seems fine to me. But I didn't...
Did he ever speak on it?
I don't know if he released a comment.
The tap dancing around.
Oh, I think I do remember him putting out an apology.
Should he?
I think he did.
Maybe he can get a presidential pardon.
Like the turkeys on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah.
Liberty and justice.
She was wearing an eye patch last time I saw her.
Wow. Oh, God.
Yeah. All right, so Louis, now it's been a year and a half, and he should do comedy.
And people clearly wanted him there. They were excited.
Yeah, I don't know. Whoever owns the club, you own the box that people eat nachos in, so you should be delighted when they're delighted, whoever comes up on stage. All right.
Well, moving forward, when TMZ Sports broke the story that UFC President Dana White said he is seriously interested in putting together a Justin Bieber-Tom Cruise fight.
Dana is on my list of guys not to beat off in front of. I just feel like
it'd be dangerous.
It wouldn't go well with him. I feel
Can't control the landing spot.
No. Yeah.
I feel like he's got too much upper body.
Yeah, stocky.
He knows people. Like, I don't know, Chuck Liddell would just come walking in the room like mid-stroke, and he'd be like, "Are you kidding me? Come on, Chuck." I just feel like I have a list.
Here comes the Iceman.
I have a list of guys who not to beat off in front
risky.
of, and he's near the top of it.
I think that's sound. So people are starting to clamor for this fight. And TMZ has also told Bieber's rep Scooter Braun that he spoke with Ari Emanuel over at William Morris Endeavor and Dana White on a secret phone call and said Bieber's down. He's 100% into this idea. So when White was leaving Craig's restaurant in West Hollywood on Sunday night, he told TMZ that he thinks there is a shot at this actually happening. Here's a clip of him being asked about it on the way to his car outside the restaurant.
Do you think the purse could be bigger than a Mayweather and McGregor purse?
I think it would be the biggest purse ever, and I think it would be the biggest pay-per-view ever, too. So, yeah.
What? So no comment on Tom, huh?
Huh?
No comment on Tom?
Maybe in the next couple days.
We'll look forward.
What about Scooter Braun?
Well, there's a couple things going on in our new sort of freak show called Society now. I mean, yeah, Tom Cruise, he gets 20 or 25 million bucks or whatever, but this would be hundreds of millions of dollars for a night's work. Probably don't risk a lot of damage. The real risk is that these guys look like they're dancing drunk, that the technique takes so long to look competent.
Oh, but wait a minute. Let's be honest. Do you really want to see technique when that happens? I mean, part of it is just to see the absolute...
slapping.
No, I'm going to say yes.
You don't want to see any technique. Look, leave the technique to the professionals. Let this just be the ball of cat fur or whatever it's going to become. Right?
I don't want it to be like when Kareem was posting you up and then
that's not interesting at all.
I don't want to see
elbow
that.
Chest move.
I'd like to see a little competition out there, but I bet they both have enough ego to work their ass off.
And do you think there's something in the rider you can't go for the face, the moneymaker?
No, I think they'd have it. It would be massive, and it would be as big as, you guys are too young to remember, but Billie Jean King
Bobby Riggs.
Going up against Bobby Riggs. It just captured the country. I mean, it was 2 months of nothing but when are we going to see this event?
Right.
Like, when is this event going to happen? I mean, it just became, I don't know what the McGregor Mayweather purse was. It was they both got $100 million. Mayweather got $200 million or whatever. I mean, it is literally somebody could say to Tom Cruise, "Oh, what month is it? It's what are we coming here? June? Okay,
Christmas Day,
middle of December,
Christmas Day.
I'll put $200 million in your pocket for could be a day's worth of light lifting."
Yeah.
And you have to think, I mean, I don't know who reps Tom and Justin. I know Scooter Braun is manager of Justin, but Ari bought, those guys, WME bought the UFC.
Right.
And so if they could pull this off, imagine the pairings.
Just in
across
general.
the board in general.
You got to have an undercard.
Who do you think would win?
Baldwin going against O'Reilly like on an
Who do you think
undercard?
will win?
Who I think would win?
Yeah, come on.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I go Tom Cruise because I think Tom Cruise is the kind of dude that if he said, I will do this for the next 4.5 months, he would train 9 hours.
Yes, he would.
He would never stop training.
Yeah.
He'd jump out of planes and train in midair.
What was the last movie that he was in a theater? I remember watching it, and I remember because I don't know how
It was
old
the Mission Impossible movie.
I don't know how old he is. He's in his 50s, right? Something like that.
He's like 57 or something.
There's
56.
a scene where he is sprinting at maximum speed for an extended period of time, like through this, like for a 57-year-old, and I mean he's moving really, really fast. So
he's spry.
So he has kept himself into, because Rick and I talk about running all the time, and when you get to be our age and our size, sprinting is no joke, right?
No, I know.
So I think Tom really,
Cruise, by the way, he's cockroach-esque in that he either doesn't move or he sprints full speed. It's never
when the
like
lights come on.
I saw Cruise sort of jogging the other day, but he was half-assed. He's in full sprint mode or he's in walk mode. He doesn't have a medium setting.
That's cockroach-esque.
That's as true as ever.
He doesn't have the cool down setting on the treadmill where like I'm going to cool down. He doesn't have cool down. He has craze being chased by a bear and walking.
Yeah.
That's what cockroach. You don't see a cockroach jog ever.
The lights come on.
Gone.
Tom Cruise
That's
gone.
Tom Cruise in every movie.
Speaking of Tom Cruise movies, that's why Tom Cruise will never do this. The risk is he doesn't even have to lose to Bieber. He just has to get a couple of good shots to the face from Bieber, like knocked down once. Mission Impossible's gone. Jack Reacher's gone. You take Tom Cruise seriously?
I don't know.
Knocked down by Bieber?
Look, if he can battle Scientology and his sexuality, I think he can win this battle.
That's actually
I
true.
agree with him. I agree
That
with him.
is sound.
He's conquered his sexuality. He's conquered Scientology.
Yeah.
Where
He
else is
can
there to
win
go?
this.
Pretty
I
invincible.
agree.
Remember when he was up on like Matt Lauer's sofa,
Yeah.
like sofa
Oprah.
skiing, and Oprah's,
Yeah.
he's got past it. He's Tom Cruise.
Wow, you brought up Matt Lauer. Where's he at?
Exactly.
He's beaten off in a potted plant with Louis C.K. on Martha's Vineyard. Mayweather, they say, I guess, I don't know if we can, whatever, it makes sense to me. Mayweather got $275 million, and McGregor got $85 million.
That explains to me why that billboard of Money Mayweather on the way to Vegas is still up.
Yeah, that's why. And he could, I mean, you could say, look, I don't care how rich you are. If you're talking about a $350 million payday for one night, you got everyone's attention.
Yeah.
I don't care how rich you are. It's the same way I can get Elton John to play my kid's bar mitzvah. Just got to write a check for $8 million. He'll be
He'll show
there.
up.
Like they want money.
Undercard. Yeah.
Interesting.
What's the undercard?
So we are
Elton John versus Freddie Mercury's corpse.
we are entering into the waters of real celebrity deathmatch.
Yes.
It's really going to happen.
Well, it would bust the doors open for anybody else with the beef or with the whatever or not.
Yeah.
They would do it with that kind of payday.
Any of us would do it.
RickFox versus Dennis Rodman.
That's right.
That's pretty badass. right
Dennis.
Who would win?
Oh, come on.
Oh, you go right for that
Dennis.
lip ring.
He's the worm.
Cut him.
You're coaching me.
Yeah.
You're the coach. Adam's the coach. Adam's my coach. He's thinking correctly.
Wear all three of your championship rings in there, and you hook it on his lip ring, and he's out.
He's out. Drag him anywhere.
That's right.
As long as I don't do it, as long as we don't fight in South Korea, right?
That's right.
Right.
North Korea.
Home field advantage
You won't
for
be
him.
leaving.
Well, the Chicago Police Department released more than 60 hours of video footage taken of Jussie Smollett after the former Empire star alleged he was the victim of a racist and homophobic attack. One video was taken by police as they arrived at his apartment just moments after he claimed he was attacked by two men who poured bleach on him, tied a noose around his neck. He's actually seen with the rope hanging from his neck. Smollett was accused of staging this attack himself, hiring his personal trainers to help him. He was indicted on 16 counts of disorderly conduct, but the charges were dropped. Smollett maintains his innocence and insists he was attacked. Here's just about 40 seconds from the police body cam when they first walk in his apartment, and his managers with him.
Do you want to take it off or anything? Yeah, I do. I just want to see it.
He's got the noose around his neck. Oh. I got the undercard. I got the undercard to the Cruz Bieber fight.
In his house.
All right, you ready? Turn it down.
The two brothers.
Smollett. Well, we'll put them on the card too, but they won't make the pay-per-view. They'll be the freebie prelims. Now, Smollett fights the guy who started the Fire Festival.
McFarlane.
They're in the disgrace.
That's good.
Celebrity
That's
division.
good.
Ja Rule would have to sit in for
Ja
him, right?
Rule
That's right.
could fight.
Tag.
Yeah,
I can help you get that done.
we can get Ja Rule.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm from the Bahamas, so I
That's
know.
an undercard. That's a strong undercard
good.
fight right there.
That's
They're all
real
going to be
good.
strapped for cash.
Billy McFarlane?
Yeah,
It might be Billy, yeah.
Yeah, they'll be strapped for cash. We'll put them on an undercard.
I like this.
It's starting to fill out nicely.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm the Bob Arum of celebrity fights. So, I'm kind of a weirdo because I was like, everyone's like, why would you keep the noose around your neck? And I'm sure he made everything up, and I'm not defending him or Garrigus and anybody, but there's a mindset where if somebody did this to me and then somebody called the cops, I'd go, I want you to see this like a crime scene.
It's like disturbing the crime scene.
This is what was around my neck. I don't want you to see it on the bookshelf.
Right.
And I go, this was around my neck. I kind of get that. I still think he did it or didn't do it or, whatever. He's guilty or
Staged.
whatever, staged. But the part where he has it around his neck's not like, aha. Who would ever, whatever.
Yeah, sachet and jaunt around the house with this.
Yeah.
But that makes sense. You would be disturbing a crime scene if you start taking your clothes off that were
I still
when you were
would
attacked.
tend to remove the stuff that was on me.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I'm not saying it doesn't mean...
Also, if your clothes allegedly
doesn't-
have bleach all over them that was
It
poured on
doesn't
you.
definitively mean this or that.
Sure. Right.
Right. All right.
He didn't think that through well enough.
No.
It was a
'Cause he didn't do
bad
it.
situation.
Yeah, it's
What are you implying?
Yeah, Rick, he didn't do it.
You're sounding like an owner, man.
I'm sorry, a governor.
That's
our
owner
governor.
talk.
Thank you very
Commissioner
much.
talk.
Our governor.
Put a governor on your ownership, dude.
Governor.
Well, we haven't heard from the Flying Wallendas in a couple of decades, maybe a century or two, but they were back big time in New York recently. Nick and Lejana Wallenda live up to that family name when they walked a quarter of a mile across Times Square, 25 stories up, balancing the entire way on a tightrope earlier this
Cruz
week.
would have ran across that fucking tightrope.
That's
man.
true.
He wouldn't have walked. He would have sprinted.
It was broadcast live on ABC. Thousands watched. And they meet in the middle, and Nick climbs over Lejana. And that's around 18 minutes in. It was especially.
Now, was that pre-planned or the worst timing ever?
I think it was.
Really? You're going to go the other direction on the same wire?
Wow.
The night I'm going?
One time.
Jesus Christ. Couldn't put a Post-it up on the fridge.
I asked one thing. One thing.
Well, this was especially daunting for her. She broke almost every bone in her face after suffering a near-fatal fall a few years back. The whole thing took about 36 minutes. They had poles for balance. The poles weighed 38 pounds.
Can I say this? Am I making this up, or was he traveling with a kind of harness
They did have that.
security thing?
I don't think Times Square would have allowed it without it. Now you have the clip.
Well, okay.
I mean,
far be it from me for
many
being
Wallendas
a
have fallen to
massive
their death.
douche. Yeah, by the way, you know who you don't want
think
up?
I know where you're going
By the way,
here.
if you, a large crowd in Times Square, you know you don't want up on that wire? Louis C.K. That's the worst. No, put it away.
Get your umbrella!
You could do it, but just apologize. That's it.
Yeah.
That'll clear you.
Yeah,
Now-
there is some
You
sort
wouldn't
of
hear the
harnessing
booze from
system.
way up there either.
I have very good balance. And if you gave me a 6 months training and told me you can wear a harness where if you fall off, you got a cable and a harness on it, I would give it a shot.
Okay.
So that's bullshit.
Well, well, you can see they actually talk about the harness. She's like, I got it unclipped, step over me. So this is the moment where he actually steps over her on the
She's
rope.
got the harness too. I mean, what?
Do you think they'd be allowed to do this in the middle of Times Square without
I do, because
What's the harness attached to?
They do
Maybe
it's
a
a cable
crane?
above
Crane,
it.
yeah.
Or do
probably
it somewhere else where it is allowed.
Well, and there was a documentary about the man who walked in between the
Man on Wire.
towers.
Yeah, that guy's a stud. Sorry.
Man on Wire, that's right.
Yeah.
All right,
Sorry,
here's
stepped
the
over
thing
her.
That is so underwhelming.
I don't care. He's got a safety harness. Like, what could go wrong? Nothing. You have a harness. The same thing. It's the difference between free climbing and doing it with a
Adam's
rope.
not
The funny
impressed.
thing about them, that I was reading up on the Walendas, and their thing back in the day, 100 years ago, was that there was no net, there was no
Right.
The dad died.
harnesses, and a few Walendas died. And apparently, when they joined Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, the whole thing was, oh my God, they're doing this without harnesses because those got lost in transit. So that just became their thing after that.
The grandfather, there's famous
Carl?
footage, like Rio de Janeiro or something. He was somewhere, and he was just walking, and a wind kicked up, and he just fell off. But the thing that always struck me, I think it was a Walenda, and they shouldn't. By the way, at a certain point, you go from flying Walenda to falling Walenda. I mean, you got to change your name. Yes, you hit the pavement enough. You got to change your name. If he could fly, it'd still be here.
Well, why isn't Cirque du Soleil signed him up? Like, are they just not good enough for circus?
I don't know, but the
Or
thing,
Cirque? I'm sorry, Cirque du Soleil.
The thing that I found very interesting about the footage of the grandpa when he died, wherever he was in like 1974 when he was walking across the buildings, I found it very... Yeah, where was that? I found it very interesting from a human standpoint, which is the wind kicked up. He got a little wobbly. He was not wearing any form of a safety harness. And as he sort of went down, he made a half-hearted attempt to cling to the wire. He did not do that, this is my...
Right.
If I don't hang on to this wire, there's a half-inch piece of wire here. If I don't grab it, I die.
Right.
He
It was
didn't.
very casual.
He sort of bent down and he sort of just went.
Gave up.
Like it was a weird
Gave in.
thing because you think as a human, like, hang on. Like this is,
Like your grandpa falling off a couch. You know, it's kind of slow motion.
Yeah, it was that thing where it's like he kind of knew he was falling and he didn't wrap his legs or grab or do a desperate move where you would have went like, fuck it, I don't care how bad I look. I'm throwing the pole and I'm just going to hang on to it with both hands until they come get me. Wherever that footage is, you can 1962, Puerto Rico.
No, this is in 1978 in Puerto Rico. We have the footage. We didn't know if you want to see it.
Yeah, I want to see it. It's.
Do you think he just was so comfortable being on the wire for so much that he just didn't fully realize that it was the moment?
I think it was a captain goes down with his ship kind of thing. Like when
this is the glory. This is the way to do it. Or
you have failed at this mission, and when you fail in this business, you die. You don't cling to the rope for a half hour until the paramedics
so you're saying it's a champion's exit.
In a way, it just didn't. If you watch it, we can watch footage of it.
see.
It's Carl Walenda.
Yeah, like he could go kneel down and grab the right now.
He could kneel down. He's starting to go down, and he just kind of goes. He's on it, and he just kind of.
Stop! Are you kidding me?
But
you didn't tell me I was going to see that.
He didn't hang on to it like you would have liked.
Well, hold on a second, Rick.
Hold on.
The title of the thing was like, "Dude falls from." What do you mean they didn't tell you that?
I don't see that. I can't see that from way over here.
Oh my sweet
Like
baby
the
Jesus!
small print, you can read that.
What is that small?
I can't
It's
read
huge.
that.
It's in bold type.
Anyway,
I did not read that.
tightrope walker Carl Walenda falls to his death, Puerto Rico. I'm just saying his effort to hang on to the wire was about a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't.
Wasn't desperate.
Maybe he
wanted to
just
go?
miscalculated. Maybe he just didn't think it was as serious, and then it went from 0 to 100 real fast in the last second.
Could have been a bad marriage. I mean, we've all had those thoughts. You know what I mean? Like
A heroic
Rick
exit.
nodding. Come on, Rick. Feel me? You know what I mean? Like that shrew's on the other end.
I do.
What do you want to do for
Never pushed me to a
What do you
tightrope.
do for
but
anniversary?
high wire act.
Walking.
No net.
All right, let's do one more, Gina
All
Grant.
right. Well, Tupac Shakur is the most famous person ever incarcerated at Clinton Correctional Facility in New York, and he still needed an ID like everybody else when he was there, and now it can be
it's for
yours.
sale.
Of course it is. Remember
Jesus Christ.
his drawing that was for sale? That super
Yeah.
lusty.
Drew, picture him and his gal.
That was hot stuff. So Tupac's first prison ID card from his 1995 incarceration is going up for auction through the memorabilia company Heritage Auctions. They're starting the bidding at $2,000. Tupac served 9 months there after he was convicted on sexual assault charges. He was required to carry this laminate everywhere he went. You know, it has his signature on it. Bidding starts July 1st. Heritage Auction is expecting it to go between $4,000 and $6,000.
More than $6,000. I want it.
Yeah.
It can be yours.
What?
Yeah, they don't think it's going to go through the roof.
The bidding's starting now.
Well,
Yeah, right.
you just heightened it by talking about it on this show.
RickFox is in.
Where do you know you go to the celebrity
This is Heritage Auctions.
charity auctions? Yeah.
Everything's for sale now.
Undercard.
And the more stuff, the more high-end stuff that sells, the more...
Hologram
what's his name
Tupac
from
Shakur versus
Pink
hologram
Floyd
Biggie.
guitar.
Dave Mason.
Whatever.
David Gilmour.
Yeah, the more that stuff goes for millions of dollars,
Yep.
the more everything's just going
What's
now.
the most you've paid for something?
At an auction?
Yeah.
That had to do with a celebrity?
Yeah, like a memorabilia or something.
$4.8 million? 4.8.
What was it? Was it a car? Or?
Paul Newman's race car.
Oh, no, nice.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. You thought I was going to say Tiny Tim's ukulele. It's $1,300. No, I paid. You met the dude who paid almost $5 million for a car at a celebrity it wasn't a celebrity
That's
auction.
pretty cool.
It was a car auction.
Is that your daily driver?
No, it's not licensed for the street, but we will be at the track at the Laguna Seca coming up in August, racing it.
Sweet.
In the vintage race. So
who'd you beat out? Did you know?
No, I don't know. I don't know who I beat out. I know that it's a very nerve-wracking endeavor. Doing that, it goes in increments of $250 or $100 or maybe $500,000. So it's like to get to $5 million, it's just as fast as if you're bidding on a Mini Cooper for like $13,000. Like it gets, first off, they don't start at $100,000.
They're going that fast?
Yeah, they start
the cattle auctioneer.
They'll start at like $2 million. And then they'll just go 2 million, 2.5. They don't go 2.1.
So the whole time took
stressful.
how long?
They go 2.5. And they'll go 2.5, 2.5.
Yeah.
3. Okay, 3.5, 3.5 over here.
Start to finish was how much time?
80 seconds.
Oh my
Shut
God,
up.
that's stressful.
Well, it would have been 80 seconds, but at a certain point, they got to 4.4. Now you got to tack 10% on to the 4.4. But they got to 4.4, and I had the bid, and they stopped, and they're like 4.4, and then they're like 4.4 once, 4.4 twice. Oh, we got someone on the phone.
I was going to ask him.
Somebody was on the phone.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I think that's always a ruse.
On the
That's a
phone
ruse.
in like Dubai or something.
That's a ruse.
So
Prove it.
then the
Yeah,
person's
prove
on the
it.
phone and they go 4.4. Okay, 4.4 to you. We're going 4.5, and you can go $100,000 like as fast as you can count to 10. You can just go up to $1 million. So the person who was on the phone was like, huh? And they're like 4.4, 4.5 to you. We got 4.5 now. And the chick who was on the phone was bidding on behalf of somebody, but got confused about another auction and another car that was 4.4 at the time and screwed up. And she was like, oh, no, not me. And they were like, okay. And they're like, let's reset. We're going to reset now. And I was like, go.
How far would you have gone?
I was right there. I wasn't going
over 5
much. I was like, you got to do the 10%. And I didn't
Did you
have
go
the
in
money
knowing?
at the
Did you
time.
go in knowing that it would hit that high? Like in your mind, did you think it was going to?
They'll usually give you an estimate.
Okay.
And the estimate for that car was probably 4.2 2 to 5 or something like that. So you know kind of going in what the parameters are, though sometimes it blows past it. Oftentimes it comes up short of it. Like you don't really know who else. It depends who else is in the room, who wants that car, who wants Paul Newman's Le Mans or Le Mans winning.
Le Mans class. Paul Newman's Le Mans class.
Going once, going twice. C-section.
Were you actually sitting there with the little fan, waving it like a
I was
lady?
like, first off, I'm semi-recognizable in that world, so I gave it to Matt D'Andrea, and I was like, you have it, you do it. And by the way, it's too nerve-wracking. You do it.
Want to pinch your knee once.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Give
he
you a little
did
squeeze.
it. He did it, and I was like, I don't know. I'm not going to give you a number to stop at. You know the number we want on this car. But it was highly, there was a lot of anxiety there. And when like out of a movie where they completely stopped, so they're literally going to just pound it out for the third time and give me the car. And then they stopped, they rebooted the entire thing, and they're like, okay, everyone, let's start over.
No.
And I was like, they couldn't start over with the whole thing, but they were like, we're at 4-4 now, everybody. I was like, no, come on, come home, bring it home. Let's not give everyone time to think. And I have seen stuff stall out with like going twice. Oh, another bit, and then it just heats up again, and it'll go. It was there's a lot of anxiety there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll be racing that car at Laguna Seca coming up in August, middle August.
Are those duplicates behind it?
So come on out and say hi. There's different cars from all over the world.
That's the son and his business partner.
I got it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a little surreal. All right. Still owe money on it, though. All right. Did we bring it home?
We'll bring it home right now. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news. Sweep your chimney.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.